This video has been created for students studying how to produce the financial statements of a sole trader from incomplete records. This is the second of 3 videos where we're looking at how we can use information from the general ledger to find the missing figures. Here's question 1. You may wish to pause the video while you absorb the information. So in this question, we're being asked to find a missing sales figure by preparing a sales ledger control account. Let's look at the information we've been given. So we are preparing the accounts for the year ending December X9. We are told the trade receivable balance at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. So that's the closing balance for the previous year. So we can assume that's the opening balance for the current year. So let's just transfer that information. And then what I'm going to do, I'm deliberately putting it down the bottom just to leave myself enough space for any other entries that might crop up. We're going to put Okay, now I've used the terms opening balance and closing balance just for illustration. In fact, what it would actually be is my balance brought down and my balance carried down. And that would be the correct way of doing it. But just for this one example, I'm going to use opening balance and closing balance. We are also told that payments received from credit customers during the year totaled 39204. So payments from customers, actually that should say something like bank really. 39204. So that's the information I've been given, and I'm being asked to find the sales figure. Now we know the sales figure is going to be on the debit side, which is why I've highlighted it in yellow. So let's just put sales, and that's going to be our balancing figure. Now it's so called because we're looking for the figure that's going to make both of these sides balance. So the calculation I'm about to do is very, very similar to when you are balancing off a T account, looking for your balance carried down. Only in this case, we've already got our balance carried down, filled in, but the process is exactly the same. So I do a preliminary total on both sides, and then whichever one is higher, I deduct the smaller one. So let's do that. So I'm going to say that the balancing figure is equal to 41132 minus 1447. There we go. There's my sales figure there. That's the answer to this question. So here's just a little alternative way. If you don't want to write out the T account as I've done, you can just say it's the closing balance plus the payments received minus the opening balance will give you your sales figure. So we have 1928, 39204 minus 1447 equals 39685. Let's look at the next question. This time we're being asked to calculate the purchases as a missing figure. Okay, so let's go through the same process again and see what we can transfer over to our purchase ledger control account. We have the trade payables at the end of the prior year, X8, and we're preparing for X9. So that's going to be my opening balance. That's going to be my balance carried down. So let's just put that in. Let's make sure I do it correctly. So my balance brought down from the previous year, it's going to be 3850. And then my closing balance for this year, my balance carried down will be 43825. And then I have 2 payments made, so let's just put in, so I'm just going to put bank payments. And We also have payments from the cash account as well. I'll just put the word payments in just for completeness. Okay, so the missing figure that I've highlighted is going to be our purchases figure. That's going to be our balancing figure. Same thing again, I do a preliminary total where I take the lower amount, sorry, away from the higher amount. So let's do that. And there we go. There's my balancing figure to make both columns total to the same amount. So there's my answer. If you prefer not to write out the T account, an alternative way of doing it is the same as with the sales. It's going to be the closing balance plus the, in this case, payments made minus the opening balances will equal your purchases. Brings us to the same answer of 173,029. Let's look at a slightly bigger question now. So this question is asking us to find out what the closing bank balance is going to be at the year end. So we have our bank account here, and I've already highlighted that, well, I'm assuming it's going to be on the credit side, but I can move it if necessary. So let's see what information we've been given. So we are working on the accounts for the year ended November year 8. And we are told that the closing balance on the bank at the end of the previous year, X7, was 8,400 in credit. So that's going to be up here. So that's my balance brought down from the previous year. Then we've got a number of movements on the bank. So we have our receipts and our payments. And what I'm going to do is just transfer this information from here into the correct side of the bank account. So you might want to just take a moment to see how that information has been transferred. Now it's just a simple case of balancing this account off. So let's just start by totaling up my columns, and then I'm going to balance off in the usual way by taking the lower amount from the higher amount. And then we have it. 11,270 is the answer to this question. Let's do one last example, slightly bigger example this time. So this is a bigger question, and let's just look at what we're required to produce. So we need to prepare a purchase ledger control account with our bank payments as the balancing figure, a VAT account with bank payments to HMRC as the balancing figure, and then find the closing balance on the bank if the opening balance is 1790 overdrawn. Well, while I'm down here looking at this piece of information, I'm just going to put that into my bank account there, the 1790 overdrawn as a starting position. And let's go and have a look at the other information we're being given. So I'm just filling in. Okay, I'm just filling in where I want my answers to go. So we start with the information about the daybook summaries from the year, our net, VAT and totals. Now, even though I'm showing a sales ledger control account on this screen, I am not going to use it because I haven't been asked for any balancing figures or anything up there. So I'm going to ignore this top one and see what information I can use in my purchase ledger, my VAT and my bank. Actually, I've broken my own rule there. I always say read the whole question before you start it. So actually, that's what I should have done. If I had read further down, I would have seen more information, and I would have seen that I've got my opening and closing balances on my trade receivables, which is my sales ledger control account, and my trade payables, and also my VAT payable. So let me fill this information in first. So trade receivables, am I going to put this in? I'm not going to bother with that one for now. I'm going to go straight to trade payables. So here I've got my opening 10,300 and my closing 11,175. I'm going to do the same for VAT payable. There we go, my 2470, my 3405. So now I've got my opening and closing balances in those accounts. I'm going to go back to where I was earlier and have a look at these day books. So my total on my purchases day book is 76,800. There we go. Now I don't need the net figure, but I do need the VAT figure because I'm compiling a VAT account. So there we go. I've got my 12,800 VAT there. Now we're told that there were no sales and purchase returns. Great. And then we're told that we have admin expenses of this amount. So we don't have a, oh, we do have a bank account. Right. Okay, let's see if we can take this total figure down then. Okay, I've put mine down the bottom, but it doesn't really matter where I put it. And the VAT amount as well, here. So that's taken care of all the information up here. Now I just need to pay attention to the information down here. So we are told that prompt payment discount is recorded in discounts allowed and discount received day books, and that discounts allowed were 360 including VAT. So if I was compiling my sales ledger control account, which I'm not, they would go up here, the gross amount. But then I want the VAT amount because I'm compiling a VAT account. There you go. So I just do a quick calculation of 360 divided by 6 to find the VAT amount, and that's what we're seeing here. And now I have prompt payment discounts received during the year of 270 including VAT. So I'm just going to, well, I'm going to take that figure there, 270, that's going to be my gross figure. And you can see here that I've entered that here as my discounts received, the full 270. But now I need to work out the VAT on that, so I'm just going to divide that by 6 to give me 45, and I'm going to enter that into my VAT account. What else am I being told? So we have bank receipts from trade receivables for the year of 144,145. Right, so that's my bank receipt. Here they are on the debit side because they've been received. Then I have wages paid of 24760. There you go. Next I have drawings of 12,200. There's my drawings. And then it says there were no other bank receipts or payments during the year. However, I'm not finished yet because the balancing figure on the purchase ledger control account and VAT account are both bank figures. So these are figures that I need to copy down into here before I can find my closing balance on the bank. Now, before I proceed, I've realized I've missed something out. What have I missed out? Let's take a look. Yeah, okay, so apologies for that, folks. I missed out the VAT figure here, the 24,400 from my sales day book, because of course that VAT amount will of course affect my VAT account. However, I've caught it just in time. So using the same method as before, I'm looking for my balancing figure, so I'm just going to deduct the smaller figure from the larger figure. To find that balancing figure, so let's just copy that down to here. There we go. And I will repeat that for the VAT account. There we go. There's my balancing figure again, and I'm going to copy that down to here. Perfect. So I have all the information now that I need to complete my bank account. And here's my final answer. So thank you very much for watching the second part in this series on how to find the missing figures in general ledger accounts. There's one more video in this series which is how to use cost structure to find missing figures, or how to use markups and margins to find the missing figures.